Greetings, comic book friends. It is Wednesday, TGIW. A very, very reasonable, thank God it is Wednesday. A nice, light, thank goodness, 7 books this week. It was a light week. I don't think I got lucky or anything. I think it was just in general was a pretty light week. But I needed it. After last week, coming home to 3 weeks worth of books. That was a lot. It was a lot to digest. Even though I read them all very quickly, it was still a lot. So it's nice to have these small weeks every once in a while. 7 books, I think, is very welcome. As for what's in here, let's see. So we'll start with this. So this was put in my poll. I think that this was put in there just because I'm subscribed to Daredevil. I considered putting it back, but I was like, I don't know. With the new Daredevil, I kind of care about Elektra now, so maybe the Elektra 100 will be fine. So I just went ahead and picked it up, and given it was such a light week, it's like, okay, it's fine. I'm sure it'll be okay. Superman Son of Kal-El. Yeah, this still is great. I was real big on this book when it first came out, and I don't think it has slowed down. It's kept up to pace with the quality, so I continue to enjoy it. On the other hand, Venom 7, I think it's so hard. It's so hard for me to drop books. Usually when I don't get a book anymore, it's because it ends. I just have a really, really hard time dropping books. Especially with characters that I generally like. Like I like Venom, but this is just I don't really care. It's not good. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't think it's the current creative team's fault. I think it's Donny Cates' fault for leaving Venom in the state that he did when he left his whole. I told my story. I don't care what comes next. The fallout be damned. So I kind of blame him for the state of Venom, even though he isn't on the team anymore. I feel bad for dropping it because I don't think it is the fault of the creative team. I think they're doing the best that they can with what they have. But at the same time, if I'm not liking it, I'm not liking it. I shouldn't pay for it. Batman and Catwoman number 11. I'm guessing this is an 11-issue series. As this has gone on, it's kind of like the Joker. It's grown on me more as it kind of wraps up and moves on. Maybe it did need to take as long to get to that point, but we've seen this with a lot of these Black Label books, right? They're these 12-issue series that really could have been knocked out in 6. So one of the reasons that I'm staying away from these, or at least a little more careful about what I pick up. As far as those go. Oh, excuse me. I just woke up from a little nap. Still a little tired. The last book you'll ever read. Still fantastic. Has a very, I don't know if I mentioned this before, especially now it's getting to have a very In the Mouth of Madness, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, vibe to it. Where she wrote this book, she put it out. People are going kind of mad because of it. They think it's like this new gospel. And I don't want to give it away. But there's some interesting twists in here, and it continues to be entertaining. And I've enjoyed the ride so far. Eternals 11, great. It's a great book. if you care anything about Eternals, even if you don't care anything about Eternals, it's still a really good book. I think one of the more solid books out there, Marvel books out there. It reads a lot different than your normal superhero Marvel book. There's usually at least one page of like prose explanation of something to do with Eternals lore or technology, um, familial ties, something like that, because all that stuff is very important when it comes to the Eternals. But I don't mind it. I usually don't like prose in my books, but it does it in a very good way. It does it in an interesting way. It all ties in very well. So very, very good book. And Noctera, number 9. Another great Image title. Good story. One of those that I've enjoyed it from the beginning, and it hasn't let me down yet. I've yet to be disappointed by an issue. I continue to be engaged by it. So as long as that keeps up, I'll keep saying go read it. So go read it. But that is it. A nice short, especially to balance out last week's really long one where I covered 30 weeks worth of stuff. But a very reasonable week. Should be able to get through it fairly easily and get back to reading some older stuff. I've been doing very well at knocking that to-read list pile down as well as I can. So I feel good about that. But I'll be able to knock out even more because this week is so light, and I'm very, very thankful for it. And I do enjoy these light weeks every once in a while. So that is it. Let me know what you think about dropping books. I mentioned I'm going to drop Venom. Is it difficult for you to drop books, or is it easy for you to just be like, you know what, after an issue or two, if I don't like it, it's no problem to drop it. It's for me, it's a completionist thing. I hate to have part of something. It starts to drive me a little bit nuts. So I have a hard time dropping a title once I've started on it. Not that I haven't done it before. It's just very rare for me. And I think Venom might, especially as low as issue 7. I usually kind of give it more than that, I guess. But it might be time. I don't care. So let me know your thoughts. What you determined to drop a book? Is it easy for you? Is it hard for you? Let me know in the comments. And like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.